Hi, you're listening to I'd Rather Be Writing.com. I'm Tom Johnson, and today I have a quick productivity tip. This is something that I was trying out last week and the week before, and I've noticed that it actually works quite well. And productivity is one of these topics I like to return to on my blog again and again. And I'm not going to belabor the point here. The tip is simple. Set a timer for 4 hours, essentially, broken up into 1 hour increments. And within each hour increment, focus on some writing task. And when you get distracted or have to attend to an email or some other task, such as a meeting, stop the timer. And when you return to the writing task, start the timer again. Now, I've got up here a nice little app that's a Mac app called Focus, but there are a million of these little timer apps. I mean, really, just a timer app will do. But this one is kind of cool. You can set how many sessions you want, and I've set and how long each session should be. So I've set 4 sessions, each for 60 minutes. I mean, I don't know why 60 minutes, why not just one 4-hour session, but it seems a little bit more manageable this way. And I'll pick out a writing task, say, hey, we've got this documentation task, and as soon as that timer's going, it's like I'm focusing on it. Now, this actually gets into another question, is what exactly does it mean to be writing? Because assuming that you've got this timer going and I'm writing, what happens if I hit a roadblock and I don't have certain information? Maybe I need to set up a meeting with engineers to get it, or maybe I've written something. It's time to review what I've written with the engineers, or maybe it's something I have to learn. Maybe I came across a new concept and all of a sudden I'm like, man, I've got to figure out what this means, right? So at that point, are you still writing? If you're not heads down typing, right, but you're still gathering information for that task, I would say yes, of course. This is all part of the writing process. I think, a lot of people try to reduce writing to just like actually typing, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, right? So as long as you're researching, you're gathering information, you're interviewing, you're interfacing with engineers, even if you're set up a meeting to meet with engineers to ask them questions so that you can get unblocked for whatever you're writing, I think that's writing. It's part of the information process. Anyway, this timer is so dead simple, but it works because it's so easy to get distracted. There's instant message through whatever client you have. We use Chime, so people are chiming me all the time, and then you get emails that you have to respond to in meetings. And it seems kind of crazy that only 4 hours of my day would be dedicated to writing. What happens to the other 4 hours? And I started tracking them. I was like, let me keep an actual log to see what exactly I'm doing with all this non-writing time. And some of these tasks were checking email, reviewing writing samples from candidates, reviewing project plans, meeting with my manager for a one-on-one, responding to email about whether certain projects are on my radar, if I'm aware of them, getting files from developers for testing, creating an internal Center of Excellence type site, listening in on stand-ups and participating in stand-ups, doing a doc calendar, shuffling who's going to tackle which projects, sending field engineers links to things. It's kind of endless. And all these tasks are important. I'm not saying they're not important, but unless I can just kind of focus in on one specific writing task and sort of have a timer that pulls me back to it and reminds me that, yeah, you're supposed to be writing, not attending to all this secondary stuff, it's really helpful. It works. And I had this sort of epiphany last week where because I was able to get so much done using this method, even though I had all these projects on my plate, just like tons of stuff dumped on my plate, and I was like, usually I would feel really overwhelmed. Well, not really overwhelmed, but a sense of stress and like, oh, better break out the calendar and plan it out. But this time I was thinking, you know what? If I just hit 4 hours a day working on this stuff, I'm gonna chew through it like in no time, and all this stress kind of evaporated. Now, this is still early in my experiment, so maybe I'm just naive, and maybe this is yet another productivity tip that will, fail or fall by the wayside. But I mean, I strongly value writing. I really like writing, even though I'm recording a video cast right now. I really like writing, so I guess internally I also have motivation to follow this writing timer. So it's a quick tip. Now, if you're on a Mac, this Focus app is pretty good, but there's probably 20 different timer apps. There's a larger technique called the Pomodoro technique, which also works well. This is just a Pomodoro, I believe, is Italian for tomato. It refers to the tomato timer, where you'd set 20-minute timer, the little thing that you twist and it ticks down. Well, the idea is that you have these focus sessions where theoretically you block out all distractions. So if you really wanted to get serious, you could set a timer for an hour and shut down your email and your instant message client and not attend any meetings, right? And so, if your head's down on some task, that's definitely a strategy that you probably want to follow, if it's really important. On the other hand, though, I kind of like to make myself accessible, especially when engineers ping me, or I just want to be able to interact with people in the moment that they need information, or that I need information from them because I really want to interact with them. So at any rate, if it gets too crazy, shut this down. Sometimes I shut down my email for an hour and go back online, and I've got like 20 messages and things are falling apart, and it's like, oh my gosh. But anyway, give this tip a try if you want, if you're into this. And I'm interested to learn productivity tips that you have for writing. This productivity tip is basically just to do the writing. It's like not any secret hack, but this app definitely helps you keep on focus. If you like video casts, let me know. I'm just sort of experimenting with this and thinking about doing them more, but I'm not really a video person. I'm not photogenic. I'm not very articulate in video casts like this, but maybe it's something I can work on and get better at. You can follow my blog at I'dRatherBeWriting.com. And again, my name is Tom Johnson. Thanks.